بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وخاتم النبيين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بالإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As you know, I'm your brother Abu Abdullah, Abdul-Lateef from Arabic Virtual Academy as well as Abdul-Lateef.com. Today, in this particular fiqh class, what we're going to be talking about is those things that are obligatory in the ghusl. Last time we talked about those things that make the ghusl an obligation. So make sure we don't get these confused. Last class we talked about those things that make the ghusl an obligation on an individual. Now that we know that is an obligation, now we say, okay, what has to be there in order for my ghusl to be accepted? The fara'id of the ghusl. طيب. Now, the first of these things, or actually I'll say it this way, there are three of them. Generally you're going to find that they're broken down into three. The first of these is the niyyah. That you should make your intention for what it is you're doing. And you know this goes with all of the ibadat. Anything that you do, you should try to have your niyyah correct. So, we talked about before the reasons why we make a ghusl. There are different reasons why people make ghusl. So your niyyah should be befitting for that. You may be in junub or a state of sexual impurity. So your niyyah or your intention should be to raise that from you or raise that from yourself. Do you understand? Your niyyah shouldn't just be, okay, I'm going to take a bath or I'm going to do this. You're making a ghusl with the intention of raising this hukm or this ruling of being in a state of impurity off of yourself. Just like we said, from amongst those reasons was a woman having her menstrual cycle and getting it over it. This is another reason why people take a ghusl. So from amongst, like as we said, the fara'id of the ghusl itself, or those obligatory things that has to be in the ghusl itself, is the niyyah. So we need to make sure that this niyyah goes along with what it is that we're doing. So we say, or not necessarily, I'm not saying we say it like this, but the purpose, we understand that the reason why we're making this ghusl is because the menses has gone and now we're trying to purify ourselves from that so that we can begin doing those things that the ghusl is an obligation in order for us to do them, like the salah and other than it. Do you understand? So the niyyah, it's important, and this is important for the ghusl and other than it. We have to make sure that our intention or our niyyah fits that which we're doing. We don't just do it out of habit. But actually, when we actually do these things, we don't just take a ghusl because it's hot. Do you understand? You take a ghusl or the legislative ghusl for certain reasons. And your niyyah should be for those reasons. If you have more than one reason in which you're going to do this particular type of ibadah or worship, then your niyyah should be befitting for that particular thing, or it should fit that particular thing. And inshallah ta'ala, I think that this is pretty much clear up until this point. Another thing I want to bring up about this issue of the niyyah is that it goes, and I think we probably discussed this when we talked about the wudu, but I'm going to say it again now. Your niyyah goes with the first thing that's wajib in the ibadah. Do you understand? So, as we said when we were talking about the wudu, We said that the niyyah goes with the beginning of the washing of the face. This is the first thing that's wajib, or the first fard act of the wudu. So here in the ghusl is when you're wetting yourself, when you're cleansing yourself. Tayyib. In the beginning of this is when you make your niyyah. You make sure that you have your niyyah during that time. Do you understand? So, this is basically what we want to talk about when we talk about the niyyah. The second thing we want to talk about is removing the najasa from your body, or the impurity. We said before, we talked about what was najas. Now we're talking about that particular thing as najasa. Tayyib. The second thing that's obligatory is that you remove the najasa from your body, if it's on your body. If you have some of the blood, maybe some of the menstrual blood or whatever you might have, that it itself is najas. When you go to take a ghusl, it's an obligation on you to make sure that you get that off of you. You don't say, okay, I just put water on me and I jumped in the shower and jumped out, or whatever the situation may be. You hear a lot of people saying a lot of things these days. But what you have to make sure you do, as we said before, these are from the fara'id of the ghusl. You have to make sure that you remove all of the najasa, or the najas things. You need to make sure that it is completely and totally off of your body. This is an obligation. Again, I'm going to say, we don't just jump in the shower and get wet and jump out. We make sure that the najasa is off of our bodies. And the last thing that we want to talk about is making sure that the water, it hits all of our skin and our hair. All of our skin and our hair. And this goes to the situation of, like we hear a lot of kalam, or a lot of talk about women, and they have their braids in, or cornrows, or whatever. Do they have to take them out, or don't they have to take them out? All of the rest of this. This goes for all of the hair on people's bodies. You can't have something on you where the water is not going to reach your skin and your body. I mean, nowadays people have body paint and all of the rest of this and this, that, and the other. Anything that's going to prevent the water from reaching every bit of skin that you have on your body, and every bit of hair, and the skin under your hair, and the inside of your hair. When I say inside, I mean the hair that's tied up in the braids and things. Sometimes you can wet it. Like when you make wudu, the whole of your hair doesn't get wet all of the time. But in the ghusl, you need to make sure all of it is wet. Not just all of your hair, but your scalp as well. And anywhere else on your body. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it has to, the places that you have holes, like all the way down inside of your ears and all the rest of that stuff. We're talking about the skin that you have on your body. And yes, if you have things that have to be moved, inshallah, we're adults here. We understand what we're talking about. If you have things that need to be moved, yes, they need to be moved. But we don't go overboard with things and say, okay, inside of things need to be washed and things along these sorts. We're talking about that which appears. Do you understand? So, when we talk about, again, getting in the shower or taking a ghusl, we need to make sure that the water reaches every bit of the skin and the hair on our bodies, and it touches everything. Tayyib? So, just to recap what we did today, we said that the fara'id of the ghusl are 3. The first is your niyyah. The second is making sure that you remove the najasa from all of your body, all of the najasa from your body. And the third thing is making sure the water gets to all of the skin and the hair on your body. طيب? Making sure of these things. Not, okay, well, I think it probably did, making sure of them. طيب? Now, since it's been a while, and you know I usually ask questions at the end of each of these videos. Since it's been a while, let's just see. For those of you who have actually kept up with your classes, who can name for us those 6 things that we named in the previous class that make it an obligation for an individual to do what? To take the ghusl. I'm not going to ask you about these 3 things because we just did them and we just recapped it. If you can do them again, those 3 things that are fard in the ghusl, that's extra. That'd be great. But write your answers down below. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Write them down below and try and do them without looking or without going back to the video. Inshallah ta'ala. Or if you have to go to the video, watch it, but don't write the answers down during the video. Inshallah, wait, try and bring them back afterwards. It'll help you out, inshallah ta'ala, with your memory. Bi-idhnillah. طيب, and if you find these videos beneficial, like them, share them with your friends, and hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, we'll meet you in the next video when we'll be talking about the sunan of the wudu. Of the ghusl. طيب, جزاكم الله خير وبارك الله فيكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.